What's wrong with the government trying to figure out what Russia was up to?
Nothing wrong with the government doing that. Everything wrong with the government spying on a candidate of the opposition party. That's a Watergate, a Spygate. I mean, and without any warning to him. And now, to compound that, to make it into a criminal investigation, Bill, that's why this is a rigged investigation. That's why the president's been right from the beginning. Way back when the president said there was surveillance of his campaign. Turns out he was right.
Rudy Giuliani with a scathing indictment of the Obama DOJ and FBI. President Trump's lead attorney saying the Trump campaign should have been briefed about a government informant if the purpose was to keep an eye on Russian election meddling. Joining me now is Chris Swecker, former assistant director of the FBI under then-director Robert Mueller, and a vocal critic of James Comey, writing that everything the former director has been saying in his book tour interviews is hurting the nation. Chris, thanks for coming on this morning. I first want to get your reaction to what you just heard there from Rudy Giuliani.
Well, Rudy Giuliani's been all over the place, but he may be right on this one in the sense that you cannot direct an informant at a campaign to spy on the campaign. Informants are, it's fair game to use an informant in a fully predicated legal investigation. It's normal, it's expected. But that's directed towards an individual under the Attorney General guidelines. You open investigations on individuals who the law allows you to open the investigation on because you have sufficient facts to open one. But you can't direct them towards a campaign. So
how do you differentiate an informant versus a spy?
It's just a question of vernacular here. The official term in the Attorney General guidelines and the FBI rules and regs is informant. That's someone who will never testify. They're protected. There are files open on them. They have to be controlled. The other type of source is a cooperator who will testify at some point. Sounds like in this case it was an actual informant, someone whose identity we may never know.
Well, we know where the president stands on a lot of this, Chris. He most recently tweeted this. Why aren't the 13 angry and heavily conflicted Democrats investigating the totally crooked campaign of totally crooked Hillary Clinton? It's a rigged witch hunt. That's why. Ask them if they enjoyed her after-election celebration. The president has stuck to that narrative that this is a witch hunt.
Well, I think what makes people angry is the contrast between the way the Hillary Clinton email and the Clinton Foundation investigations were conducted and the way the special counsel is conducting his investigation, where he's using every tool, legal tool in the toolbox, whereas Comey used none of the tools and clearly was in the tank for Hillary Clinton and may have actually been making sure that that investigation went nowhere. So I think that's what makes people angry. We've got a full investigation going on with the special counsel that's using everything, and the other investigation used nothing.
You've been very critical of the former FBI Director James Comey. Why?
I just think his ego got in the way. He broke every rule that there was. In fact, he rewrote the rules. He knew better, and he made some value judgments. Clearly, Clinton good, Trump bad, and he directed his investigations accordingly. And that's the last thing you should do as an FBI in an FBI investigation. You check that at the door. You check your bias or your political opinions at the door. And when you see that coming from the top and the inner circle, then it permeates the investigations.
I heard you say he knew better. What do you think drove his decisions?
Well, first of all, as the assistant director of the Criminal Investigative Division, he would have fired me for doing what he did. So you know, it's hard to discern what was driving his decision making, but I do think that he set some examples for the investigative team, and I think the agents up in New York were rebelling, and that's why he had to call the press conference and excoriate Hillary Clinton, and then exonerate her in the same press conference.
Chris Swecker, it's great to draw on your experience and get to your perspective on all that. Thank you.